Hey guys, what's up? Charlton here, Bedroom's busiest hip hop nerd. Just thought guys, I'd do another review. Just had a bit of extra spare time on my hands, and I thought a bit of more content more than once a week might be cool. Anyways, today I doing things a bit differently. I'm gonna be reviewing a instrumental EP produced by an artist called Cyreides. Not too sure if I pronounced that right. Apologies if I didn't. Um, but I'll link you in the description if you wanna check him out. It's an 11-track instrumental EP. It's got variations. It's quite very variable in terms of its genre inspiration. It's EDM based essentially, but it's got elements of hip hop, trap, dubstep, bit of trance in there. It's just got a nice fusion of things. The EP is called Coldest Winter. I think that's a very fitting name, and I'll get into why in the next bit. The first thing I noticed about this album is it's got interesting time signatures. It's not your standard 4/4, which immediately told me, okay, this is not your average hip hop instrumental beat tape, if you will. I would be interested to see how a rapper or just how any vocalist would approach laying down vocals on that. Seems like it's an interesting challenge, but it's cool. It works. Yeah, as the name suggests, Coldest Winter. It's got some very dark sounding instrumentals and samples on it. Very low, dense. I feel like I'm trapped in this mansion in the middle of the Himalayas or something, Narnia even, and there's just the music paints that sort of picture. It's really good. It's got a lot of deep church organ sounds, nice ambient sounds that kind of create this massive picture of this massive mansion that I keep on picturing myself at every song. The song Walking Nightmare, and that's probably the most hip-hoppy song on there, because it's got these drum samples, which I really liked. It's like this boom bappy kind of sound, if I remember correctly. The next track, Sweet Dreams, was one of my other more favorite tracks in there. It's got these it's very psychedelic sounding, almost deep housey, but psytrance kind of influence. At least that's the vibe I got from it. There's all these panning. I loved your use of panning in there. You've got your hi-hats that go from the left to the right, and it just makes for some really nice trippy sounds. And I love, one thing about the album is between songs your transitions are between some songs your transitions are, they just end song here, but some songs it just goes on from one to the other very smoothly. They, like, the order of the beats they've put in, they match up to each other, and that was cool. One of the last tracks, I think, was called The Chase, if I'm not mistaken. You've got some dubstep sounding instrumentals in there, and they're very crisp, and just painted this nice picture. I just imagined being in a rave, but a very chilled out kind of rave. And I've never seen a chilled out rave, but that's what I just saw in my head, and I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. In all, I liked it. It's not much else I can say without, I'm not a crazy producer, so in terms of that, in all, I like the album. It was a very experimental piece of work, but you kept within the theme that you chose, which was just this dark melodic, progressive kind of sound, and you've done that really well. What you've done is you've put all these tracks together, and the order as well has just made for a nice collective piece of work, and it just ties it really well together. Especially the name Coldest Winter, I think, is a great name for it. It really encapsulates the sound of the album and just the themes in general. I don't know how a rapper would jump on this. I'd be interested to see how a rapper would jump on it. Yeah, that would be really interesting, because mainly of the time signatures and all that, and some of your songs are very slow, but it could make for something nice. You could come up with some ASAP Rocky kind of styled um, album if you had someone lay down vocals on this. You never know. So if you're a rapper and you like it and you check it out, jump on it. Send me the link. I'd be keen to see how you approach it. I'd really be keen to see how um, anyone approaches it. In terms of pushing this album, I don't know what niche audience you'd be would suit you, but that's mainly because I didn't know I don't know how to classify this in terms of genre. Um, I feel like I can't limit it to one genre, other than saying it's EDM. But EDM itself quite is quite broad in terms of it could be essentially hip hop can be EDM because it's made on a computer. It's electronic music and you can dance to it. So I feel this album encapsulates many genres. But yeah, so I don't know how if you want to build your niche genre like that. I don't know what your career aspirations are in terms of that. But yeah, it's quite an interesting sound that you've got going on. I feel like, although I feel like you could be a great producer if you had like someone come up to you. In this case, I'm just gonna say it's a rapper, and you produce from scratch for that person. Because what you've done in this album, you've stuck to a theme. You've been quite experimental, but you've been experimental within this theme. So it's not too experimental where your shit sounds all over the place, but it's experimental enough to see, okay, you're trying new interesting things, which I liked and I appreciated about that. So yeah, I feel like maybe you should, if you want to get your stuff, if this is something you want to do, um, get a rapper, get to know them a little bit, and then make sounds for them based on who they are and what kind of sound you have, instead of um, just making a beat and seeing who likes it kind of thing. I feel like you've got the right vision for your music, and that can work really well in terms of creating collective pieces of art. I enjoyed your, I enjoyed the sounds that you used. They were interesting. They stuck out. Your uses of panning, especially the psychedelic theme song. In my opinion, that was Sweet Dreams. You had your hi hats panning. I love that. It definitely makes for good sonic variation, and livens up the beat, gives it a good kick of life into it. And your standard fading and all. I think that's where a lot of producers lack, is that they create one loop and then that's it. It's the same loop again and again. There's no variation to it. Whereas you've managed to incorporate different. You've managed to incorporate all these different fadings and pannings, if you will. I don't even know what the words are to use, but there's definitely like a lot of sonic variation happening in there. If I had any advice for you, and this is just my point of view, because like I said, I don't know what your career aspirations are. What if you just produce for fun, if you want to make this a career? I feel like you could probably have if you did genre specific albums or EPs, you could probably have your stuff heard by more people. This was experimental in the sense that it incorporated a lot of genres into it, and I just don't know how appealing it is to other people that are looking for beats. But then again, this is me saying if that's the kind of thing you want to do. If it is, then yeah, maybe try doing a bit more genre specific. If you stick to hip hop, do your hip hop, experiment within hip hop, just as you did in this album. Otherwise, if you were just making music just for fun and just because that's what you want, like that's a sound you wanted to reproduce, then that's fine. It turned out really well. I liked it. It's a great piece of art, and it definitely induced a lot of visuals for me. But yeah, I mean that is something that up to you to decide. That was just my opinion purely. I'm genuinely excited to hear any more work that you have, or that's more to come. And keep in touch. Send me new stuff, and hopefully we'll take it from there. Anyways, guys, if you end up listening to this, tell me what you think about it. Did you like it? Didn't you think it was too experimental? What would you think about it? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Cool. Yeah, thanks for watching.